How are we doing? How are we all doing? I know I'm late. Actually, I'm late because I had no idea. But I'm on now. So yeah. I think that's the good news. So it's gonna start at 8. What I don't know is whether there are going to be 2 rounds per day. That's what I don't know. Right? But for but yeah, that's what I know for now is that it starts at 8 o'clock each day. And yeah, that's basically so we're going to have to run through the games. None of the games have some of the games have ended. It's quite a stacked lineup. Unfortunately, there's no like Ghanaian playing. I don't think there are even Nigerians playing out there. No, Triple A is not playing. But then the strongest African, Basem Amin, is playing. So yeah, that is going to be cool as well. Give me a second. I woke up quite recently. I slept around like 6, so I woke up quite recently. Let me just do a quick stuff. Here. And here, I guess. This. True. Okay. So let's start from here. So Bastamin is playing as black in this game. We have E4. French. Interesting. Okay. Nice. I guess we get the advanced French. What I've learned, at least from the French, is from at least the little I know from the French is that the advanced French is the best way to create chances. And I realized that the advanced French and the Caro-Kann have similar ideas. Like you can play C5, right? Yeah. So the Caro-Kann, the French, I don't really see much of the differences between the two. Maybe when I get more skilled, I'll understand the differences. But mostly when I look at it, I just see the similarities. Basically, I don't know where the differences lie. Maybe it's where the knight. I mean, I see all this even in the Scandinavian, so it's pretty like yeah. If you ever watch the streams, you realize I've always had this kind of thing, and sometimes I even have queenside pressure. But yeah, it's all good. Bishop to b2, bishop to b4 check prevents the king from castling. He doesn't block it, I think, because he doesn't want to use the pawn. That makes sense. Back, knight develops, bishop develops. We might get manual castling as and when it's necessary. Okay, close position. So trading the bishops off is a very cool idea. Knight jumps in. Now you have very nice targets on this square. So far, so good for white. Though I think black is prepared in this position. I think black is just doing very well in this position. Can I use the engine without facing problems? Usually when I use the engine, the whole thing lies. Okay. It seems I can use it without facing so much problems. Okay. Takes, and then knight jumps into a4. Now this is looking scary. Anytime I watch Batem's games, he's always playing very aggressive, right? And I mean, well, that's my own e4. I mean, so this is the current position h4. I would definitely play g4, even though like not that the engine's best move, but taking when your king is also not so safe is not a very good idea, right? Taking knight takes does not work immediately, but yeah. So pawn push, the knight has to find a way to a square to move to. It could develop itself to this square, but then you still kind of open yourself up to ideas like this. So yeah, white is definitely going to have some things to think about. Though I'm kind of ignoring some of the things that white has. I don't know how strong of a knight this could be. Maybe after like maybe trying to get a knight here, you would try to get the queen. No, that doesn't work as well. That doesn't work as well. How do you, because I mean, actually, wait. You would want to take at some point. Like you would want to play. No, this is black's turn to move. If it was white's turn to move, white would definitely want to take. Now that I think about it, right? Because now you want to open up your rook file. Because if you could take play, let's say queen to c3, you have a good target here, right? So knight takes and then you just go for mate. So that would have actually been a good idea. A good idea for white. So black definitely should not take. I don't think it's a very good idea for black to take. Black definitely has to go pawn push. Best idea for black here. So what does black do? So should we get pawn push? Let's say knight. I don't want to use the engine too much. Knight jumps in here. If we allow bishop take, that may not be a good idea. So maybe even if pawn push, you want to take here with check first, right? I don't know where the opponent takes. Well, let's say the opponent takes with the queen because he wants to launch an attack. Jumping in here is what I'm thinking about now. I think this is how he would want it, right? These weaknesses, I think, is what you'll be looking out for. And yes, you can block this out, but this just doesn't look safe. I think black should be preferred here. Yeah. So what do we do? Do we not trade? We don't trade. Okay, you could trade, but trading first is actually a bad idea as per the engine. You want to jump in here first. But that's my whole issue. It gives your opponent a chance to do something with the bishop. Okay, he does play g4. g4 has been played. g4 definitely has been played here. It's so funny how the engine still thinks this is okay for white. Because white has a very big problem here. Could we give up the no? I think giving up the knight to open this. I don't know if that's a good idea. I can't really tell if that's a good idea. Oh, where did I click? Yeah. 95 is the main idea we're looking at here. Taken first by white, which I mean, the reason why you would want to take that, why that option would occur to you is one, this guy would have, sorry, and then two, this knight is going to be like very bad in this position. Though, like, I'm still thinking that even if you play this, black doesn't want to take, or at least black doesn't want to initiate the takes, because then this pawn is having the chance of like this bishop is having the chance of like opening up. So yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff going here. I don't know some of these guys, but this Adli Ahmed versus Ahmed Allah. Two Ahmeds. D4 knight f6, G3, E6 bishop G2 D5, knight f3 bishop E7, castles kingside, C4 looking like a Catalan. It is a Catalan. Knight to E5, knight to C6, takes, and then knight to A3. So we have tripled pawns. They are all weaknesses. Bishop takes. So was it really necessary to do that? Anyways. Okay, so black is choosing to hold on to the tripled pawns. Pawn push, queen comes in. I mean, you trade off and then you play bishop takes. Isn't that the case? Takes, and now you're back. But now you have to deal with this problem, right? This is a passed pawn, right? It's an isolated passed pawn, or you could call this double isolated pawns. But this is something that you have to look out for. What will make this pawn a little bit hard to defend is the fact that there is no rook defending it. If black would want a rook defending it, he would have to possibly try and do something with this pawn. So I'm suspecting rook a to c8, with the ideas of if this bishop ever moves, or if he ever gets this bishop to move, we get c5. And whether pawn push or pawn takes, this guy is going to be well defended. So I think that's going to be his game plan. Probably in the meantime, we're going to get like bishop bishop to f4, and probably rook a to c1. You could also double if that's what you're looking for, and I think that's going to be basically the game plan here for basically the game plan here for white. That's what I'm expecting. He doesn't go for that. I mean, it's not necessary. I fully understand why you wouldn't want to like go for that whole idea. E3, knight jumps in. Are we aiming for the outpost? No. So what could be the square we are targeting here? Bishop comes in, targeting the hanging pawn, and the rook infiltrates. Aha! Knight jumps in, attacking the bishop. Bishop takes, rook takes, and the pawn is defended. Again, pawn push, attacking the bishop. Bishop moves, and now we just take, right? Nah, if we take, we still lose the pawn. This pawn is like our strongest asset here. This pawn is like our strongest asset here as black. So I don't know if you would want to allow that, because bishop takes, pawn takes, you allow your opponent to take this pawn. I don't know if you want to allow this. Your opponent can easily defend everything, and the position just looks symmetrical at that point. So you may not want to do that. Just in case, if you're on YouTube, I am on Twitch. If you want to watch it on Twitch, and if you're on Twitch, I am on YouTube. So wherever you prefer or wherever you want to be, just know that you can be there. On Twitch is twitch.tv/pen_mason, and on YouTube you just go to PM Chess and you will find me there. Once again, Twitch, it's twitch.tv/pen_mason, and on YouTube just search PM Chess and you will find me there. Thank you guys. If you have any games in particular you want to look at, if you have a favorite player you want me to look at his or her games, just let me know and I will do just that. Okay, so we did get this line. Oh, that is actually interesting, because here if you play rook takes, I just play pawn takes, and now I have sort of like a connector. I can create a pass pawn here, right? Because if we have like rook takes, you can play takes here, and now you have this idea brewing. That's actually very nice. That's actually very nice. So he defends in that instance, and we still get this. I don't expect him to take immediately. I'm expecting rook to c8, because like I said, this is your strongest asset, and that's what you want to defend. So rook here. If this happens, you get this, and the game still continues from here. Will this pawn ever make a difference? You're going to have to bring the king in. Eventually g6 is going to be played, so that the king has an escape square, and then I don't know who's winning. Of course, my money will be on black in this situation, because he has the clear threat, which is the pass pawn. White is now going to have to create that threat, and it's not going to be an easy threat to start. In that case, that's why I give the position to black. But I wonder what black is considering here. Because what I'm expecting is just defend this. I think I get what he's looking at here. Because you can defend this and then this move comes in play. Takes. But then still this, but then it's a rook pawn. In this case, it's a rook pawn. My only issue with this is that now it's a lot further from the king. So that means that you can really distract the king. You can really distract the king from the defense of these pawns, right? And I think that's the only issue here. But I think we get takes here. And then maybe this. A4. And then maybe we have to come in here and then the game develops from this point on. This is what I'm kind of thinking is the alternative he's going for, but I think the straightforward. I don't know. I think that gives white the most options. I think that's the best way white can survive, right? Doubling up here is the best way white can survive. That may just be the best way white can survive. Let's see what the engine thinks. Engine disagrees. It's like, just go pawn push. Go for the activity. Like, I don't get this. Okay, so I allow my opponent to take. I take. Let's say my opponent takes. We take here. I take here. I take here. This is just a drawn position, right? I mean, this is just a drawn position. I don't know why you'd want to go for this line in the first place, right? I don't know why you'd want to go for this line in the first place. I don't know. Yeah, he goes for rook takes. Wait, he goes for rook takes? Huh. Yeah, yeah, because now you can't actually go for this. Because rook takes, you can't take back. That's the issue here. You can't actually take back. I'm really confused. Oh, someone help my endgame knowledge. What? He defends that way, but then, I mean... Is he simply going for an active play, right? Like, here? That could be it. I think he's just simply going for an active play in this position. Again, this just goes to show, like, I really need to master my end games, because all this while I thought was like a straightforward idea, right? I thought you just defend this guy. Is it just that bad to play defense and allow this? Is it really just that bad? Ah, yes, I did miss that. Yeah, true. I kept talking about this in other lines, but I missed it in this line. Yeah, the back row. Wait, no, that's not my line. My line is just play g3, right? He takes, you play g3, right? Oh well, oh well, oh well, oh well. Finally, he's safe. That's the main issue. That was the main issue in his position, is that he had no safe. Yeah, so I was here thinking that black had the most I was here thinking that black was safe, but then actually it's white who, it was black who is creating the threat, but actually it's white who is actually creating the threat. Okay, so that's the second game. We're going to the third game. There are so many games I have to go to, right? Like, I started the stream so late. There are so many games we have to look at. Why are you getting the games? You will actually struggle, but it's on Lichess. You would have to go to African Individual Chess Championships. You have to search it out. My chat is in the wrong side. Let me bring the chat box down. Yeah, because this stream is different. Give me a second. Let me bring the chat down a bit. You will struggle to find it. Sure. Let me put the link just in case anyone wants to get the link. Yeah. Oh boy. So yeah. You will struggle to get the games for sure. Trust me. I struggled. Okay, let's check this game from beginning as well. Let's see how this game is going. What the hell? Nice. Okay. E4, C5, Sicilian. Knight F3, Knight C6. Open Sicilian. Takes. Okay, this is not the open. I don't know if this is the knight off or... No, that's actually not the knight off. Okay. G6. Okay, this is sort of like what's it called, dragon. Bishop to G2, G7. Bishop to E3, knight G to E7, knight to D4. Developing a knight to A to B5. I don't really know the theory here. Castles, castles. If anything, I think that you would want to put your knight on this square. That's what I would think. For white, white would want to put the knight here. But then that creates a very close position where it seems like all white has to do is focus on the queen side. I would like it because you kind of lock out this guy, but he does have the plans of like F5, breaking things open and attacking on the king side. Those are all plausible plans. I personally would I don't know. Knight e to c6, knight to d5, f5, f3, f4. Position is closed here. And this is basically the line I was talking about, right? Though I of course, I didn't expect black to take because that would be good for white, locking up the position and aiming for a queenside assault. Though you could also argue that he should have taken because this knight is going to be a menace on the queenside. This is now looking like a King's Indian defense, but from a Sicilian, right? Knight takes, and now we have b5. Right, I'm just trying to link the two openings. Very, very interesting. It's a close position, so you wouldn't mind your opponent doing this. Then again, you could also play bishop here and trade off because you prefer the knight in this position. Bishop comes in, exactly what I was saying. Though I don't know if you would really want to capture the knight. Seems like a fine and a dandy idea, but I don't know if you really want to go with that idea. It might just be fine. I'm just not convinced completely about it. Ouch. So here we can just immediately take. No, actually we should do something about it because takes. I understand that yes, the bishop is defending it, but then this line becomes very weak. I think he's going to take it. Because again, these pawn pushes, these pawn breaks can positively, negatively affect his position, right? Takes, bishop comes in here. We have some things we can look out for. I'm trying to bet on those ideas that those are the things that you would want to do. And if you want to like follow the stream just so you can watch these live coverages, I'll be covering the whole event, so you can always follow, you can always subscribe. It really does help me out. Yeah, thank you, and let's keep going. So do we just take? Yeah, it says takes or put the bishop here. I think both are fine. Putting the bishop here again is because of the future potential of this square opening is what I'm thinking. So you could go bishop takes, and then you have ideas of pawn push in the future, right? Those are the ideas you can go for. Hey, thank you. I appreciate the follow. Thank you. Bishop here is what I'm looking at. I still find the position difficult for white to play. In the beginning, I thought white had a good position, but as the position is developing, I'm a little bit scared for white and the reason is simply because white's play is going to take a longer time to develop as compared to black. Black's play is very straightforward, very aggressive, right? Very straightforward, very Fauzi Adam. I think I met him. Last year during the African Individual Chess Championships, I was called upon to stream live at the venue, so I did interact with some of these. Okay, interact is the wrong word. I did see some of these people. I didn't really talk to them. Now I'm always looking at after this move. Like I'm looking at funny moves like these, but they don't work. You don't want to play bishop takes. It helps your opponent. Yeah, this is a very good idea to prevent the pawn push, which is what we are talking about, or what we've been talking about. Oh, this is a current position. Okay. So the position we were dreaming up is what's actually on the board right now, which is good. It feels good getting the moves of international masters and grandmasters. How do we prevent? Because you would like taking doesn't help your situation at all. I get that this pawn would be hanging, but it doesn't help your situation. Maybe he's going to lead with h5. Yeah, bishop to e5 does also facilitate this whole g4 idea. Yeah, he of course he sees it. Okay, so the idea that Rook is bringing, the engine is bringing, is that you want to develop, you want to now try and push your ideas on the queen side. But I'm looking at like queen here, because after pawn push now, if you take bishop takes, you can actually deal with this. But again, the more you remove these pawns, the more lines you open for your opponent to attack you. That's why like I'm kind of against the idea of like that. Oh wait, what was I saying? Pawn push doesn't exist because bishop just queen just takes. Okay, but these are ideas we can look at. Let's turn off the engine and try and analyze on our own. But why don't we just play this now, right? Like play this now. Again, we know this is not what you really want to allow, and takes is practically. Oh, okay. But we have this move. No, queen can't stay there. Let's say queen goes here to try and transfer itself here. That could be it. So many Egyptians. Yes, because it's being played in Egypt, right? It's being played in Egypt. Mostly depending on the host country, you find more of the host country there. So last year there were more Ghanaians than anything. So yeah, it's being held in Egypt this year, which is why there are so many Egyptians. There's not even Ghanaian here, right? Mostly for most Africans, which is where the problem lies for us, is that most people are like self-funded. I mean, no fault to the federations or the organizations within the countries. Some of them have a difficult like gaining funds, at least from what I know. So most people are self-funded. I don't know if it's like that throughout. I'm just talking about in Africa, right? please don't come after me. Yeah, so most people are self-fund themselves for these types of tournaments sometimes. If the country can do it, they do sponsor their players to move. So yeah, for some of the players here are sponsored by their countries. Just putting it out there. So that's the issue. It's kind of sad that there are no Ghanaians around. I would have loved to see them perform. Okay, next game. We are now on game 4, and there are 27 games we have to look at. Oh boy. But then again, if you have anybody you want us to look at immediately, I will take a gander at their games. E4 C5. Come on, another open Sicilian. Okay. I know the F4 is the Grand Prix. I don't know if this follows the same idea with this G4. I don't know what this G4 idea is called. G5, knight goes back. Intermezzo move, attacking the queen. After queen moves, maybe castles queenside, then H4. Immediately jumps at the queen. Queen moves back. I think you want a castle queenside here, because there's a weakness on the D6 pawn. Simply jump back. Okay. People are going to love this game. People are definitely going to love this game. People are definitely going to love this game. I would be scared to castle here as black. I would keep my king in the center. Hopefully, like, create a wall or a blockade with my pawns. I'm from Ghana. Create a block with my pawns and yeah, hope for the best. I mean, not to make it look like white's doing everything here. We have simply like A4, A5, A5, A4. Maybe some ideas of B4 if that seems like well. The knight can actually jump in. Ghana the best. Thanks. Takes. I mean, the point I'm trying to make is that you can open up the position, bring the rook in here, and actually start targeting the king side. That's basically the plan I'm trying to bring out, and I'm saying so many things, right? Ideally, you want to start with this to get the bishop out, to get the rook here. But because of the line trained here, I'm trying to make this idea in particular work, which is why I'm trying to refute my own idea. But then again, if you have the balls to castle and allow, for example, pawn takes, you can play this position whereby after your opponent takes the pawn, then you bring in your rook and you train down like a Benoni kind of sacrifice, right? You train down your guys on this. So very nice sacrifice lines do exist, right? You could definitely, instead of playing b5, you could after playing b5 you could definitely play a5, because if your opponent does take, maybe you have to trade off the knights first, but if your opponent does take, you do have ideas of this. Is what I'm trying to make. But this is the actual game. Okay, so knight takes, queen takes. Okay, prepare for that. I mean, pawn push, you just lock the position with the pawn, so you're not so much scared. But then again, you don't want to allow. But the point I'm making here is that even if you, like, let's say, make a random move, like let's say this, if your opponent plays pawn push, you can't lock the position. But it's good not to take risks, right? It's just good not to take risks. Okay. Yeah, so everything we are saying is what's happening here. Yeah, so in as much as it looked like white was the one pushing everything, black also has like a very straightforward attacking like plan. And I think now is the turn for the knights to join. You love the country a lot? Hey, thanks. We try. We do try. We do try. We do try. I appreciate the support. I really do appreciate the support. Hopefully, we are going to get our first GM. We only have an IM, an FM, and then many candidate masters. Hopefully, we get our first IM. I'm giving the country about 5 years to get one. We may get one before then, but I'm giving the country 5 years. Looking at the youngsters that are coming up, I'm expecting something like that soon. Maybe 5 years is a stretch. 10 years is more accurate, but 5 years is what I'm hoping for. How about this move? How about this move? Yes, your opponent can lock the position, but it creates very clear weaknesses, which you can try to take advantage of. Would you want to play this here? I don't know. No, I'm covering this tournament, so I'm not playing any games. Yeah, that's kind of like what I'm looking at. You could also try and go for this with ideas of this. The whole point is you're just trying to break open the position. That's what I'm thinking about. I want to see what but black is really down on time. Yeah, you too. Yeah. Oh, it says just save the king. Okay, that's just reasonable. But also taking is one of the moves. I really want to see what he does. I think king to b1 is obvious. Like, it's an obvious move to make, but you may not want to make it. Mostly in this position, it's because like not much is happening. You have the freedom of doing it. So am I in top 10 in Ghana? No, I think I'm top 20 in Ghana. I think I'm top 20 in Ghana. Something like that. I lost a lot of rating points. I didn't lose a lot, but I lost rating points in the last tournament, so I have not checked. But I should be top 20. Top 20? I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Top 20 or top 30 is one of them. Top 20 or top 30. Yeah, so like I'm saying, this may be the only position. This may be the only position you get to make such a move. Right? This may be the only position you get to make such a move. Because like the position is quite quiet, but normally you are tempted in such positions to do something, right? Because there's no immediate like crashing in on your position here, so you're tempted to try and force things on your opponent's side of the board, because your opponent would need a lot of moves to try and like force things out of you, right? If you could like try and imagine some of these things, because he would need a lot of things to do that. You may be tempted to say, nah, you know what, I'll save myself. I won't save myself, but I think this is the best opportunity to play king b1. Okay, we'll come back to this. Let's look at the other games. d4, d6, c4, e5. Do we just trade and go for a queenless middle game? No, we don't. Takes. Most people don't want a queenless middle game. Boring. Ooh, I like this position. I love this position for white. A lot of space. The king is loose, but there's a lot going on. A very nice square you would want to get your knight to is this square. Yes, it's protected, but it's something you can work towards, right? If you can get your knight to this square, ideally what happens is that your opponent is going to have to trade off, and you now have a very good pawn in this square. So maybe castles queen side. Like, there's no really safe way to castle. Maybe unless you play like king to f2 and then bring the rook in here. I think that's like a viable option you can go for. How is that? Well, majority of African countries, I think, were colonized by the British and other stuff. So yeah, English is a mainstay language. We do learn English. We do learn English. Unfortunately, to the extinction of some indigenous languages, right? So I think there are a lot of African countries that speak a lot more English than they do their native language. But yeah, colonization did help in that. I say help now because, I mean, it was bad at the time that it happened, but having access to English has opened doors for many of us. Yeah, knight to e2. Oh, we do have moves. Okay, I was waiting for a move. Sorry. F takes e4. He castles. He doesn't take it immediately. Makes sense. Okay, that's a perfectly understandable move. Yeah, that is a perfectly understandable move. Yeah, it prevents the whole idea I was talking about. Could we find another way to get our knight here? The cogs are turning. I don't think you want to play en passant, right? These pawns are very strong in the center. Maybe they are not. Maybe they are not. Maybe they are just not. Ideally, these pawns are, but maybe they are not. Maybe they are just not. Maybe they are just not. I mean, black still feels very unsafe here, so I don't know if you'd really want to go for such a line. He does go for it. I was expecting bishop takes, but I was like, why would he do that? Though, I mean, I do see it now. Again, the knight still has access to the square. You could trade here, but again, you make the center too strong, so you don't want to go for that. Pawn push, and this is kind of like what I was afraid of, right? These pawns, they look more deadly here than where they were in the line I recommended, right? These pawns here are too scary. Watch the engine tell me that this position is completely fine for white. It's completely fine for white. Like, humanly speaking, when I look at a position like this, I'm like, what is going on? But then you can factor certain things in, and it makes like very good sense. It's just, I mean, here you don't want to play knight takes. This bishop is bad as is. Playing knight takes just helps your opponent. I think if you play knight takes, then this position is just completely fine for black here. So you don't want to play that. You really don't want to play that. We've already mentioned this is where we want to target. Again, if we do win the bishop, remember that we are the only ones with another bishop here. So we can freely contest our opponent's bishop. So for example, let's do something of this. Like this, you get the whole point, right? There's stuff happening. Well, we speak many languages. There's Twi, there's Ga, there's Fanti, there's Hausa, there's Frafra, there is Kro. Is it? I can't mention all my Ghanaian people are going to be pissed off at me that I can't list all the languages in Ghana. But yeah, I'm the least Ghanaian you meet. Dagbani. There are so many, but you rarely hear them, is what I'm saying. You rarely hear them. Of course, in the ethnic groups themselves, it's more of they are more likely to speak those languages. I'm just saying that now, because of the current people coming in, like my generation and the Gen Z guys coming in, you are less likely to hear those languages. It's a lot. The most common one you hear is Twi. The most common one you hear is Twi. Twi, TWI. Rook AC1. Okay, so I mean, this is just a simple you take, I take. Oh boy. Black has to start rerouting some of his pieces. He just has to start rerouting some of his pieces. He just has to, right? This knight is literally not doing anything at the moment. Crazy idea. F5, F6. Who's with me on that idea? Who is with me on that idea? I don't think that's a good idea, but who's with me on it? Oh, Wafa Hamid. I think I saw her or sorry, him or her. I don't remember. I really don't remember. Oh boy. We have a lot of Sicilians here. We really do have a lot of Sicilians here. I was hoping to get a Naidov because that's like one of a Naidov is one of the few Sicilians I do know. Alapin, Naidov, those are the ones I do know, have a bit of knowledge on. But I realize a lot of time that the ideas are quite similar, right? Though the names are different and though the move patterns are different, there are similar ideas amongst all the openings. That's one thing I'm learning about the openings, right? So this idea can be followed with F, G, and these kinds of moves. If you want to go for an aggressive structure, those are the things that I think you would think about. I mean, F3 first of all is a control move, but if you think about again, I'm speaking in regards to the knight of F3 does follow G4, H4, and all those follow-up moves to try and create an attack on the king side. And I still think that idea is playable in this position. So maybe once you develop the bishop to E2 and go for this idea, plausibly, you want to go for these ideas. Did I look at it from the beginning? Yes, I did. Oh wait, there are more moves. Why do I stop at one point? Here I may just have played king to B1. Classical format, majority of the time we play 60 plus 30. We play 60 plus 30, 90 plus 30 as well. 90 plus 30, 60 plus 30. Majority of the time, the nationals is 90 plus 30. Yeah. I haven't played a 120 plus 30 before. I think I would faint in such a tournament. Too much brain power being necessary. So here we see G4. Knight takes, bishop takes. Now you always have to be careful of this. Sometimes you are likely to forget. Right? Of course, these are very strong players. They won't forget that. A6, H4, B5, H5. Attacking the knight. I think most people would take, but taking just creates this problem, right? You can open up the whole position and start bringing your guys in. Okay, H6, and now the weaknesses have been formed. So here you just develop the knight backwards. He traded. Okay. Maybe that's the best option here. Wait, what? Nah, there's a problem with the board. This can't be what happened. There's a problem with the DGT boards, right? Because it's obvious that after this you want to just capture back, but usually there are problems with the DGT boards, right? And this is what happens, because I don't think a grandmaster is going to make this mistake and then just say, hey, keep your bishop or queen. I don't think that makes any sense. The moves that follow up seem to make sense, but I don't trust it. And also the fact that this timer is down is also another reason, right? It does happen. It does happen. It does happen. Let me confirm this. Somebody asked me this. Let me just confirm it. I might not be top 20. Might be top 30. I might even be less because I lost a lot of rating. Uh-huh. Oh, this is not a game we've looked at yet. Oh, yeah, top 30. I'm actually 26th. I'll play it. I'm going to play. I don't play a lot of tournaments in the year, but this year I'll be playing 2 tournaments, and hopefully in those 2 tournaments I can boost my rating up to about 1800. My K factor is still 50 or 40. Yeah. So I will work on that. Hopefully I'll perform well. Okay, so C5, we have an English E5, G3, H5, H3, D5 takes knight F6, bishop G2, knight takes, knight F3, knight C3, bishop to E6, knight F3, knight C6, and here we get E4, right? You may not really play E4. My experience, you really don't get E4. Yeah. Castles, queen D7, king H2, knight develops. Huh. For some reason, I'm looking at queen C2 here, but bishop E3, castles kingside, rook to C1, G5. All these games are aggressive games. All the games we've had so far are very aggressive games, and I mean that's cool. It's good to play aggressive. I mean the aggressive games are the fun games. Is the point I'm actually trying to make. So do we preempt G4? Yeah, we preempt G4. Here I would play like knight to D2, but here we have bishop takes, of course. Takes. Queen comes in. My reason for going here is I don't want my opponent to be able to take, right? So I'd want to preempt this move so that if this comes in, I can just lock the position. That's kind of like what I am looking at. Then I can transfer my knight in here or here and try and create some problems for my opponent if plausible. The second of all, this also opens up the bishop. King hides. Now we have E3. Knight jumps in, targeting the pawn. You can allow your opponent to get that pawn. Because if he takes, you have a rook move. We are threatening checkmate, so now the knight has to go back. He plays pawn. Why am I thinking that there's only one move here? Rook comes in. Wow. In case it's not obvious to you, I'm not seeing all this. That's very interesting. Wait, but is this really good? Is this actually good? Wait, is this actually good? Because pawn takes. Ah, yes, it is. It is. There's a check in that line. But what about just queen takes? That's the second thing I'm looking at. Queen takes. Queen takes. Pawn takes. Oh, there's still a check. Yeah, I don't understand chess. Bishop comes in. Like, is that really correct? What? Rook takes check. We don't capture back. Rook takes check. King moves. Queen takes. I think the point is if you take, then it's knight. Right? I think that's the case. That's interesting. Okay. Let's continue. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So black is up a piece. Though white makes up for it in pawns. The less, I mean, black is going for a good idea here. The less pieces that white has, the easier it is for black to play the position. So going for these trades does make a lot of sense. But without the king to support here, give me a second. Let me pick this for a second. Yeah, so sorry, that was a student. I was rescheduling the class with her. Normally we have the class at this time, but I was rescheduling the class. Okay, so King E4. Oh, by the way, I do teach chess. In case you're wondering, I do teach chess. I think I made it right. I did make it. So if anyone is interested, whoa, not in capital letters. Nice. That was it. Okay. Next game. I'm sure by now some of the other games are done. But I'm actually very happy. I'm actually very happy the tournament is happening at this time. Like it's happening at 8. Normally it happens around like 10 and it takes throughout the day. Like I finish around like 6. My whole day is kind of ruined. But I'm happy that's happening at this time. Okay. D4, D5, C4, Queen's Gambit decline, Knight C3, Knight F6, takes, exchange, Bishop G5, C6, Queen to C2, Knight BD7, E3, we have a Carlsbad pawn structure, Bishop to E7, Bishop to D3, H6, Bishop H4, castles, Knight G to E2, Why I just suddenly remember the lesson I had with Knight G to E2 and some funny ideas associated with this. I don't know why I just suddenly remembered something along the lines with this, but I don't remember why I remember this or why it's an important thing to know. I just remember that there's something along the lines with this move. I just don't remember why I remember it. I could also be wrong, right? I could also be wrong. Takes B4. Yeah, so basically in these Carlsbad structures, one of the ideas you want to go for is what we call the minority attack, right? So you play B4, B5, trade off the guys and go for pressure on the queen side. It's a very well-known idea that you can go for. B5. If your opponent does not take, it's also very good for you, right? And what I learned is that for blacks, sometimes a good position for the knight is here on E6. So you might try and find a journey for the knight to get to E6 in some positions. Anyways, B5, C takes B5, knight takes. We go back. Bishop develops. H4. And at this point, I don't know what's going on. I basically know the theory. I know some of the ideas, but I'm not well versed in this. Yeah, so we see that whole maneuver. The knight wants to come into this square because the E4, C4 outposts are very good squares you want to get your knight in, right? Me personally, I think that to study openings, you need to know the ideas and the plans rather than just the move orders, right? So these ideas are good ideas to go for. Goes for the trade and then he brings the knight in. If he didn't go about it this way, he possibly wouldn't have gotten what he's looking for. And now we have a very good position. He starts first with B6, pushes the knight back so that he can get this, right? If he didn't do this and he jumped in immediately, he doesn't gain the advantage that he's looking for, right? Because of this, he doesn't gain the advantage that he was like actually looking for. Though this may also be good for black, but with this move now you do plant your knight here and you can get you see the strength of the knight in this position. Rook comes in, more or less. If you trade, I think that's what he's looking for, right? Because now they are very interesting ideas of sacrificing the queen and all that kind of stuff. So I think that's exactly what he's looking for in this position. Okay, the queen comes in regardless. Yeah, the whole point is there's a sacrifice that exists here, and if white is not careful, it can just snap on him. Yeah, this is what he wants. This is what he wants. Of course, going for the sacrifice here does not work. Wait, takes, queen blocks, takes. These are all moves. Because now if you block here, we have this. As for whether this is good, I can't tell. But it looks possible, and mostly that's enough for you. If the king moves in here, he's just dead. So something like this. And maybe here. Very tricky. Let's look at this. I'm really interested to see if you can actually jump for this now. Yep, knight takes g3 is literally the best move. Literally. Any other thing doesn't work. Taking is good for white. Retreating is good for white. This is all that. I mean, this just seems to be so good. If your opponent takes, it's just like... I just want to see how it wins the position. You block. You take here. Basically, you're immediately threatening this move. That's basically what it is. I don't think you're worried about this because this move is just killer. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Don't you just love sacrifices, guys? Don't you just love the sacrifices? I do. Oh, I'll try and check who else is streaming. Will he see the sacrifice? That's what I want to see. Sometimes when the follow-up move is interesting, I just want to see if they see it. And of course, if I saw it and I'm not an IM, and I'm not even a candidate master for that matter, there's no way a 2100 does not see it. He definitely sees it. Mind you, I saw it without the engine before I used the engine, so he definitely sees it. But again, you have to be very sure of what you're about to play. Very sure. Like, no room for error. Though again, I should have looked at this line. It doesn't recommend it. It recommends this. I think in this case you take with the rook, right? And you still have like things to go about here. So I think this is the best option rather than capturing. And all the replies are like plausible. I keep forgetting sometimes to open the bottom up. Okay, Wafa Hamid won. Nice. Or Hamed. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. I want you to make this move. I just want you to make this move before I move. Do it for us. Do it for the Egyptian fans watching. Do it for all the Africans watching. We want to see a sacrifice. We want to see a sacrifice. We want to see a sacrifice. Do it for us. A second. Come on. Come on. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it for us. Do it for us. Do it for us. Do it for us. You don't tell me you're going to spend 90 minutes on this move. Come on. I just need to see this. I just need to see this. I know. I know many people want me to move to another game, but I just want to see if he sees this. I just want to see if he sees this. Okay. We'll just spend 3 minutes. If after 3 minutes he doesn't make the move, we'll move on to another game. But I really want to see this. I really want to see this. I should check Hustle's game. Hustle. I'll do that. Hustle. Hussel. Hustle. Hustle. Okay. Hustle is Cameroonian, right? Well, it seems he is losing at the moment. Okay, let's try and look at the position. Okay, fine. I think the problem is this line. It's recommended that the best move is that he trades off queens. If for example we have this, I mean, I understand why. Obviously, like if you take here, then it's back rank checkmate, right? So, and you have to give up material to try and survive. Because here I take and you have to, can he even castle? He can't castle. He's out. He can't castle. Takes here and you have just check. Yeah, this is just completely bad. Right? And you're losing this as well. But of course, you do, first of all, your opponent has to make the mistake of this. Like, what other moves does he have? Bishop to b4. Like this. So the engine recommends that you don't even save the queen in the first place. Any attempts to save the queen does not work. Rather, you want to sacrifice the queen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's not what you want. Trying to figure out other things you can do to try and save the position. But then again, your opponent would have to actually see this. And I don't know if he would see this. I don't know how obvious of a move this is for it to be seen. So how does black survive this position? Wait, yeah, even this move, the same thing. It's not looking well for Hustle. So first of all, how did we get here? Okay, we had the F3 is the closed, right? Yeah, F3 is the closed. C3 is the closed, right? Now we still have like an open Sicilian line here. Okay. So F4, blocking the line. The rook comes in. Yeah. Queen C6 is the winning move. Yeah. We've had this position in multiple games. The difference is the position here. He wanted to, okay, so he played that because he wanted to loosen up the position. And then he got a very good, I mean, he was doing well in the beginning. Right? I think his plan was to go what, B3 here. So why didn't he do it immediately? B3 may not be the best of moves. Ah, yes, because of like even rook, I guess. No, rook is not the move. Is rook the move? Because the back rank is hanging, that's what I'm looking at. Yeah, but when he played this move, is the problem. I think he should have actually tried to go maybe g6 and try to put pressure here. That's what I think he should have done. Engine recommends this so that b3 comes with more oomph. I don't even think you would want to play it yet. You would maybe want to do something like you may want to do g3 here, g7 here, g6 here, put the bishop here so that you could push the pawn, and then if pawn push, you take and your opponent can capture back. That's what I would have like expected. Yeah, but after the position was opened up, so after he opened up the position, first of all, the king is not castled, so opening up the position like this does not help you. That's what he did here. He opened up the position, made himself liable to attack or viable for attack. Oh, and I think here he missed it. No, that was actually his intention, but he didn't realize that this move could actually be made. Yeah. That's what happens when you mess things up sometimes. And these things are just light oversights or maybe move order mistakes. It's not very easy to like figure all of these things out sometimes. Yeah. Okay. What was the game I was looking at? I think it was this, right? Yeah, it was this. Oh, come on. What? Yes. I just can't wait for him to make this move. But it's been long, so we'll look for another game. d4, knight f6, knight f3, e6. Oh. We had a London system, guys. We had a London system. c5. You know, c5 is supposedly the way to stop the whole thing. So, okay, I'll just keep quiet. I don't want to stress myself. I don't want to make life difficult for me by saying what I was about to say. Yeah. This position is interesting. Mostly you want to keep the bishop, but here you may just be like, nah. Wait, why wouldn't he just pin? Okay. Okay, we have queen takes. Takes. And now white is up a pawn. So if we look at the game, basically, white's idea is to make a pass pawn here. And that's good. So I've mentioned this before. The king always wants to be on the weak side, but this king is too far away from the weak side. This king is right where the king side is. So it's actually very good for white here. Slightly good. Of course, depending on the moves that they play, one side will be better than the other. But more things favor white than they do black. You just have to play accurately. He offers a trade of queens. Okay, a4. Why is this move wrong? Actually, you shouldn't even make this move in the first place, but why is it wrong? Was he just afraid of this guy being pushed? Oh, he's afraid of the infiltration. So I think he wanted to do this. Yeah, I mean, it just didn't work out. It just doesn't work out. Hopefully, it's not. Hopefully, it's not like a problem of the board, because you wouldn't like. Sincerely, I don't get why he would move it here. Like, I really don't get why he would move the rook there. I really don't get it. Like nothing motivates you to come this way. So I'm wondering if it's a board oversight or it's actually the move that was played, because it doesn't make. I can't really justify this move. The engine is saying you want to play this move, but I really can't justify this move. Like, what was he afraid of? Was he just seeing ghosts? I'm trying to find a reason why this move would make sense. I mean, that's far-fetched. He doesn't want to trade, but then again, not like rooks are much better on open files, right? So if anything at all, you'd want to put the rooks, your rooks want to be here, right? And second of all, like if your opponent takes, you actually control the file, right? Right now, both of you are fighting for control of this file, right? White controls this file. But if your opponent does go for takes, you then control the file. And even if anything at all, this is actually a very good position for white, right? So let me just like do this, right? If you trade, this is actually good for me, right? Because now I even have ideas of coming in and threatening your king even more. So not wanting to trade would not make rook side. I get what you mean, and I mean that's funny as hell. Why would you want to do this in the first place? Like, what do you gain from this? Like okay, fine, okay, like okay, then what do you gain from this? There's no draw. Like this just doesn't make any sense. I mean this doesn't, it doesn't add up to me. It doesn't add up in my head. Why would you want to do this? I don't get it. I'm trying to defend the move, but it could be a board error because I can't defend this move. I can't defend this move. I really can't. I really can't defend this move. So now this is the position. This is the position on the board. So he's more active. Pawn push normally would be what you want to do. Sorry, pawn push is what you would normally want to do to defend the position. But now you can't. Wait, actually there's a good reason. No, it still doesn't work out. It still doesn't work out. Wait. Is he a genius? Is he trying to trick his opponent? What I'm seeing here, because of what the engine is recommending, let me just do without the engine and see. I'm looking at this, right? And the point, I still don't think this is a good idea. I still don't think it works. I still think you get checkmated in like 4 moves. But this is what I'm talking about. And again, the reason why I think this is bad is because you get checkmated in 2. In case, if you've not seen it, this is the reason why I think it's a bad move. Right? Who knows? Maybe that's what he was aiming for. Because now if you do want to defend this pawn, you would have to go this way. So I think what's being recommended is this. But then again, it still doesn't make any sense. Because your opponent comes in, you take, he takes, and still, right? You are still very inactive. So here, white loses all the activity he has in the position. So it just doesn't make much sense to me. When you have an engine is when you can safely criticize an FM, right? But I just think positionally, it doesn't make much sense to go for this. I'm still trying to find some reason why this would be a good idea. I've looked at this. Same issue. It's very difficult to figure this out. And the reason I'm saying that this may be what he was planning is, again, I don't think it's correct. Still doesn't make any sense. Next game. Definitely the next game. We have another aggressive game. Let's see how Bassem Amin is going. Bassem Amin is the strongest player in Africa. Unless, of course, I'm wrong. Okay, wait. He was in a very strong attacking position at the point. Okay, yes, we saw this. H4, G4. Knight to e5, we mentioned. Bishop takes is what we happened here. And then we get pawn push. Opening up the position. We have check. King to h8. G3. Bishop to g5. Offering a trade of bishops. I hate these moves. This is what Robert Hess calls a collinear move. You are expecting this, but your opponent's like, nah, I'm gonna do my own thing. Just comes here. Take on my terms, right? Take the way I want you to take, you know? Check. Now we have bishop takes, and now this file could open up. Do we just take with our rook? Because, I mean, the weaknesses it creates for your opponent makes a lot of sense, right? Because you can just take here and then your opponent is very weak. I don't know how you want to initiate. Maybe you want to go rook. You want to go... Nah, but your opponent can take this guy. I was thinking about going here first before bringing it. Wait, even the knight actually stops it. So, no. Wait. How do we do this? I want to sacrifice the rook, but how do I do it? How do I follow up? Oh, he actually does take the rook. Okay. Okay. Yeah, but your opponent takes the pawn, right? He doesn't take the pawn. Why doesn't he take the pawn? Why doesn't he just take the pawn? Because rook here doesn't exist. I see. Knight takes. Queen can definitely take here, but then I think the weaknesses far outweigh the benefits. Wait, but queen just blocks. Oh, that's crazy. Oh my goodness, that is crazy. That is actually crazy. Okay, okay, so let's see how the game actually went. So knight takes, check. Oh, queen takes with check again. So you are going to have to, not have to, but you can't just move the king. But there's a problem there. Knight takes d4, starting a discovery on the rook on a8. Yes. That I also missed that as well. I missed that as well. Yeah, very good. Very nice. So here, do you want to allow it? Maybe you do. But this knight is going to be a nuisance if you leave it here, right? Takes. Yeah. I think. But what's your next move? Like, how do you continue? It's not so easy to continue here. But if Bassem doesn't win this, that's going to be crazy. As always, guys, if you want to follow the stream and catch live streams of tournaments like this, you can always, if you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe. If you're on Twitch, hit the follow. That does help me out. Always have to put the shameless plug in, guys. Oh, I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers this year, so I really will appreciate that. I really will appreciate that. Okay. Okay, so this is where we are. This is the current position. What does the engine think about this? Does it still think that black is better? And this is easy. Rook h3, targeting the pawn. Still, I mean, rook h3, targeting the pawn may be an idea, but I don't know. But here you, okay, wait, what? Taking is actually not a good idea. You should move the king up. I hate it when the knight is so close. It's like it can do so many annoying stuff, so much annoying stuff. That's kind of like why I don't like it. But here we can just take this guy, isn't that the case? So what do we do here? Okay. He has to evaluate this. I'll just trust Bassem to get this correct. That's about it. That's all I can do. What was the last game we went to? Now, after the knight trades, you are saying here rook h3. Yeah. Makes sense. Though, like, it's slower than the option of king h1, which the engine recommends more. But yes, yeah, it's a good idea. It does work. It really does work. Okay. What was the name? Wait, I saw a name that Michael Simpson, right? FM Michael Simpson. Yeah, I did a video on him. I did a video on him winning the under 18. Is it African Internationals? I guess I've forgotten. But yeah, he's from South Africa and he plays a very good chess. Anyways, let's see. E4, C5. Finally, we have a Najdorf. Jeez, where were all these Najdorfs when I was looking for them? A6. He plays A3 here. Huh. Some would play bishop to C4. Okay, H3, preventing the knight from or the bishop from coming in. E5. Huh. Is he aiming to go for F4? What I'm used to seeing is this. Then you have the bishops developing in this way, right? Then knight B to D7, and we go on that way, right? We go on this way. It's supposed to be all African countries, but not all African countries are there. Not all African countries are present. So knight D to E2 is quite new for me. I wonder if you still go for the same F3 G4 ideas. He doesn't. Okay, this is different. Okay, these moves just don't make any sense to me. Oh wait, it actually does. I didn't see the bishop attacking the rook. Okay. And now, okay, so the same ideas. But I mean, everybody's playing aggressive chess today. Okay, takes. It's crazy. So knight jumps in, we get another trade. Now this bishop is opened up. I mean, we can always set our bishop here and aim for a kingside attack. I mean, all this is plausible. All these ideas are plausible. Yeah, the rook was under attack. By the way, there's the delay. So when you type, it takes me about like 10 seconds to see it. So yeah, I'm sure you will hear me now saying that the rook is under attack. By now, you've heard me say that. Okay. And the delay is not because I chose to make a delay. My internet is slow, just in case. I have to add that. Takes, queen takes, rook. I love these moves where the rook just comes from left field and then just goes into an attacking position. I just love these moves. Bishop comes in. He's attacking on both sides of the board. That's very enterprising chess. Yeah. Kind of wondering why he didn't immediately just defend this way and push the pawn. So apparently this is an error. Because you sack the queen. Right, you play this move. If the queen tries to run away, you do have like a move like this. Okay, that just helps the opponent, sorry. So yeah, whatever the opponent makes, you just like, wow. Wait, here you just play this move, right? Okay, first you take with check, right? Then you deal with this guy on his own terms. Oh wait, it's hanging. What is wrong with me? I'm trying to force things. I'm really trying to force things. Okay. So, oh, so he doesn't see it. Attacks the queen. Offers a trade of queens. His point is if the queen gets into that position, it's going to be much more deadly. So he abandons his passed pawn on the far side. Ah, yeah, the rook can't. Look, I'm gonna stop. I'm just gonna stop trying to analyze. That's crazy. Okay, so now we take here and bishop takes. Okay, bishop takes is better than pawn takes because pawn takes allows like discovered attacks. So bishop takes and then what? You go to the far side. Granted, your opponent can't really do anything to the king, so you are literally just going to have fun. I mean, the main threat is back rank checkmate, so yeah, that's why the queen would probably have to go all the way here. But then we see that black's position is collapsing. Like I said, he plays very good chess. There's the video on the YouTube channel. If on the YouTube channel, after the stream, you can. I'm saying after the stream because I want to keep you guys here. But after the stream, you can check it out. He's very good. He is very good. I'm definitely sure he sees the rook takes. Ooh, back to the guy I was looking at. I really want to make sure this guy does the sacrifice. He doesn't. Okay. Again, like I said, you have to be extremely confident in what you're doing before you do it. Unfortunately, it's like you don't have anything. That's your only way of creating problems. I do believe he saw it. I do 100% believe he saw it. He was just a little bit too scared. I think anything at all, you could get a draw. Sorry for yawning. I think if anything at all, you could get a draw if you didn't know what you were doing. So yeah. No, this is going to be a little bit harder to pull off. Nah, it doesn't work. Maybe this would be better. Maybe this would be better. I don't know if there's extra time on move 40 though. Personally, I hope not for the sake of my own mental health. Like literally, there's no. Okay, they are on. No, these guys all have. Like, there's no like 1500 here. It's just high level. That's cool. Like everybody's a strong player. There's nobody you can easily. Maybe that the 2000s can trounce the 1900s and stuff, but it's not so straightforward. Hey, Kogan Nicholas. Okay. I don't think anybody lost on time so far. Like, I don't want to assume that yet because most often when it's an obvious position and the person loses on time, I just assume that possibly there's a DGT board error. So until that, I just assume there's a DGT error. Let me do this. Which other game is of interest? I've looked at Belal's game. Some of them are done. Let's look at this. Oh, we looked at Hassel's game. He was under attack. Oh, his opponent did not see it, did he? He saw it. Queen takes. Yes. Yes. Now rook to f1, right? Not immediately. Okay. Yeah, I get it. The knight is going to be necessary in this. Yeah, is it like trying to wait for his opponent to make a king move before? Because like if you try and like jump in here, this move exists. And then after this, your opponent is just running away. Oh wait, what about takes? Like I was just calculating it and then he did it. The point is if you take it and you get here check, your opponent will have to either to block with the queen. But if your opponent doesn't block with the queen, this is just this is literally what just happens. You just checkmate, right? So here you have to allow this. And basically, most people would resign after this. Though White has to be careful of back rank checkmate, right? He just has to be careful of it. So maybe first move. We go from there. Like everything just bad. Yeah, knight takes e6 is very good. It's a very good move. I think it's still the same thing. Now you're 13 in meeting one. No, I said meeting one. Takes again leads to this position that we spoke about. Except maybe now you have this move. In which case... possibly calculating something wrong here. His opponent has low time, so he has to play fast. I think if pawn takes... Wait, why was that calculate? No, yeah, no, it works. Yeah, the queen defense, so that doesn't make any sense. I was thinking just go rook to d8. But no, rook to d8 doesn't work. Yeah, so now I think we begin with check. Rook check, I mean. Queen to c7. Ah, queen to c7, yes. Queen to c7 preps rook to d. I didn't know that I could actually have that time to do that. It looks like it felt like you have to do everything forcefully or quickly. But yeah, this is just resigning or making a move. Is he really out of time? Yeah, and now rook d7, rook d7. Rook d7. There's no back rank mate, so rook d7. Or rook d7, rook d8 check, king f7, rook d7, Those are all viable moves as well. It's going to be rook versus queen, and we all know that winning for the queen. Yeah, I mean, anything is fine. Though I think this may be the best way. Because you keep your opponent's king still stuck, right? If you go for this one, for example, if you go for this one, the rook gets active, right? But if you go for... But if you go for this one, the queen has to respond. Let's say with this, and you can get this move. Because the king can go up, and then we get this, takes, check, not so active. You can even win these 2 pawns if I'm right. I think that's what he's calculating. But this game's almost done, so we can just play. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I think both are fine. It doesn't really matter. The differences are not that big of a deal. Oh, wait. Yeah, I'm dumb. I just realized it. I don't know how I didn't realize this now. Yeah. Yeah, those who are screaming at the screen, you are completely right. Those who are screaming at the screen, you're completely right. I mean, my idea wins. It's just that your opponent survives. This is just killer. I don't know what I was thinking. I mean, I mean, still bad. If you go queen, it doesn't really stop the whole thing, right? Takes here again. Oh, this is the position that we are in. No, that's not the position we are in. I mean, this is just he has resigned. Okay, cool. Good news. Majority of the games are finishing. Let's go back and see if Basim Amin is surviving. He is for sure surviving. He moved the king. Pawn push. He didn't attack the pawn like I was predicting. Knight jumps in with check. King goes back. Rook to d8 defending the passed pawn. Knight jumps in looking for a trade, but that allows queen takes, right? Queen takes, knight takes. If the knight chooses to take, pawn takes and you're just winning, right? Queen takes, yeah. That's it. If the knight chooses to take. What is this plan here? I mean, all I see is queen to g6 check. That's the only plan I see here. Yeah. So queen to g5. No. I'm overthinking it. Yeah, queen to g5 just to prevent any checks. And then maybe you have ideas of like in this pawn. At first I was thinking that this does something, but it doesn't, so no. Okay. Still haven't seen a move. Same thing. Um, I mean, he's probably just okay with this. I really don't know. Um, going to see to immediate thing I see is the immediate thing I see is rook to c1, rook to c8. I see rook to c8, but I don't know where the bishop is going to go to. Uh, do we just check? Like black is winning, but white is making it very difficult. Amazing how this could be checkmate. Imagine your opponent playing a funny move like this, and then you take it and you just realize that you've lost the game. Oh, now he can move. He can't move. Yeah, of course, it's because of the queen, but like, try and understand that whole position, right? Their time is low, so I'm expecting that we'll see something very soon. So how do some people get so low on time whilst others have this huge amount of time? Like, this doesn't make any sense. I mean, I'm a thinker as well, so I spend quite a lot of time on my games. This was the sacrifice game, okay? Oh yeah, this is the game where black is up in material. I'm actually quite shocked that he did that. Because here we have takes. And trading here doesn't help you. So rook, I mean, that doesn't make much sense. Because if I take and you say, well, I'm reconsidering, there's nothing there. Trying to figure out what's going on there. I don't, I, you know, when your opponent plays an obviously wrong move or a move that doesn't look good, even if you know the exact response, you have to find out, like, is there some trick within the bad move that I don't see? Because sometimes a bad move may have a hidden idea, which if you don't see can catch you unawares, and it can actually win them the position. So even if your opponent has made a bad move, you want to like really think and ask yourself, is the bad move really just a bad move? Still wondering why this move has not been played. I'm going back to the top, the old games we're looking at. Oof. I think you simply just go back and try and get this guy in. I think that's what you do here. I literally think that's what you do here. Oh wait, I for some reason I assumed this was a dark squared bishop. Okay. Yeah, so you still go back. Okay, King 1 was played. This move is not what you want to play. I'm suggesting this move because I mean any greed is bad. Okay, no, that doesn't work as well. These bishops are just too strong. Yeah. So even though black is attacking, white is actually winning. They drew. They drew. I mean, it was a tough position, but I don't know if it was a draw. I think Bassem Amin realized he made a mistake and he decided to offer a draw. But Bassem was really in control of this game. I mean, takes intelligence to know when to stop, right? Don't give your opponent a chance to figure things out. Don't give your opponent a chance to figure things out. Let's see the other games that are close to finishing. Almost 200-point difference. And the 1900 is taking down his opponent. Very strong, what do you call it? Deep on. Nice. It you know how bad your position is when the engine is recommending that you sacrifice your queen, you know? Yeah, it's even saying sacrifice the bishop. Oof. I don't know if you instantly see a move like bishop takes h6, so that wasn't even on my radar. Oh, now it makes sense. I was trying to figure out why you would want to do this. But yeah, you get the point. That's interesting. Oh boy. Yep. Queen g4 is where my mind was at. Muloma, how you doing? It's good to have you back. I always love seeing the returners. It's always good to have you guys back. Always good to have you guys back. This is the 2025 African Individual Chess Championships, AICC. So majority of people are from Egypt, since it's being held in Egypt. Fish head soup, welcome. That sounds like something I would not eat, but it's good to see you. It's definitely good to see you. Definitely good to see you. Oh boy. So the move is basically, if this, then you take here, and that's where my idea was. Like, you're going for a checkmate. Yep. And then just move the queen away. Why not delicious? You could say that I've eaten it so much I am now tired of it. My mom likes forcing it upon me, so I've given up on it. Where am I? I'm in Ghana, or I'm from Ghana. Yeah. simple here is what we are looking at. Where is my, yep. Oof. Oh, we are currently on what? King H2? Yeah, so we are still on the winning position. St. Croix, US Virgin Islands. Nice. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Hey, Damila, thanks for the follow. Is that where you've been since you were born? Or I don't mean US. I mean that specific location. That where you've been since you were born, or you're out there? Thank you, but I haven't played any games today. Fishhead, thanks for the follow as well. Basically, Damila, I'm basically just covering an African chess tournament. Oh, I think I'm talking to you about that. These are very long tests that are being sent at the speed of seconds, right? It's well. It's well. Bishop to this doesn't make much sense to me. Oh, actually it does now. Now I think you should start with b3. Like, I get the whole concept behind like bishop to d3. You want to now transfer your bishop to c3, and you are renewing your threat on that square. But it's not something that's easy to see. Oh boy. We moved here permanently 5 years ago, born in California, raised in Miami, raised your family in Colorado. Oh, nice! And the South young avocado and South flower. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. I didn't know you had kids. I thought my audience is kids, but hey, welcome. Being married is not an easy thing. Day in, day out, my dad teaches me what it means to be a married man, and I'm like, you know what? I don't think sex is worth it. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You are 60. Damn. Congrats on living for so long. You are still a kid. You are like my grandmom. She was in her 80s, her early 80s. Oh no, she was in her late 80s before she died. But from the day I was born to the day she died, she was always 18. As obvious as it wasn't. She's birth control. Oh boy. It's the funniest conversation I've ever I have with my dad when it comes to when it comes to being a married man. Like, the things I learn each and every day is like, he's like, if you are in a public scene and someone is, your wife is obviously wrong, like she's literally obviously wrong, like what she's doing is completely wrong, don't pick the side of the other person, pick the side of your wife. And when you get home correct, I'm like, wait, I should publicly make myself look like an idiot. That's what gets me. Like, literally, that's what gets me. It's like, everybody, it's obvious to everybody that your wife is wrong, and you have to support her just so that your marriage will continue. It's so funny for me. It's so funny for me. Like, the things I learn each day, right? Someone's like, your wife can get, like, imagine if the person you're marrying gets 10 times worse, and that's mostly what happens to him. He sees it. It's like, I was being told about what do you call it, how that mostly the wives begin to understand their husbands like 40 years down the line. Like, the way you would expect your wife to treat you, she would not treat you that way. It would take years. Like when I hear those things, I'm like, wow, that's crazy. So yeah, congrats, man. One of your great friends from Cameroon lives in Ghana. I don't know the name. Does he play chess? Maybe I'll meet him one of these days. Mm. But I think if Bishop goes back, if Bishop goes back now, this move is actually stronger, right? Because I can give this to you and promote, and if you take it to your disadvantage, right? Takes with check, king comes in, and we go from there. Check. Hey, we'll be ready for you as well. We'll be ready for you as well. If you still play chess actively, there are some tournaments you can definitely play in. I haven't been outside of the country before. I have been here since the day I was born. Hoping to move or to travel once in a while. Let's just see how things go. I did agree, by the way. When you mentioned farming, I did agree, by the way. Though I didn't I actually wanted to focus more on crop breeding. But yeah. Horticulture. And other stuff. Like, why don't strong players just die sometimes? Like, you are literally obviously winning, but they are always going to like stress you out. They don't make the win so easy. You know, I miss like I really miss 900 chess. Wait, someone asked me to do something. Give me a second. I really miss 900 chess, where all you're doing is waiting for your opponent to blunder. Like, these guys don't blunder, and even when they do, they play difficult moves, eventually causing you to lose your win and hate yourself for all eternity. Like, sincerely speaking, I don't get it. I hate strong players. Of course, I do the same thing to others, but I don't understand why we do that. Like, if our opponent is winning, we should just give them the win and the rating. I can't count the number of... If I could count the amount of games I've lost because my opponents were annoying, I'd be a billionaire by now. Oh, come on. Sorry about that. I have to do something quickly. He does block with the... Takes with the Brook? Takes with the Rook is a crazy move. Like, that's a real crazy move. Right? That's a real crazy move. Would you even want to do that? Oh. These are the days of our lives. My goodness. These guys play more... Like, that's crazy. Oh boy. Give me a second. I keep getting calls and texts, and that's what's making me lose my focus. Sorry about that. I know I should put up my phone, but if I do, I'll miss some important stuff. Who's the reigning African champion? We'll say Bassem. Bassem Amin. Bassem Amin. I wouldn't play these moves. I mean, that's a lie. If I would see them, I would play them, but like, yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. Uh yeah, 2600. 26, I think that was his peak, right? I think he dropped down or something. Oh, he's still 2600, yeah. That is his peak. What game were we looking at? Oh no, I lost the game. What game was I looking at recently? No, what game was it? Is it this? Nope. I think it's this, right? Wait, what game was I looking at? Can't believe I've forgotten it. Boy. Anyway, one person was winning, the person would win. I mean, all the games are aggressive, all the games are attacking chess. Yeah, so Bassem is 26. He mostly plays even in these international tournaments, like against Magnus and the rest. Most of the African players don't get that privilege. So he's really like... Simpson won? Yeah, he did. I think I remember seeing the position, yeah. Yep. Yes, majority of the games are closing up. Aha, yes, I think that was the game. Was this it? Yes, this was it. Kogan. So h6, king moves. And I mean, once the... I was thinking you take with the... okay, so he resigns. That's nice. That's an upset, right? Now, Abdin is now a 2000 rated player if he hasn't been before. That's a nice one. It's always nice to upset your opponents. Khalil Ahmed Salem versus Demi Sheikh City. There's more risk against time. Before you make a decision like you want to take here, you have to really like try and account for this. Let's see, like does this work? Yeah, you just did. So you would have to trade off the bishop. If you would want to survive. Yep. Hmm. But then why would he go rook to c3? He wanted to get active play. Which makes perfect sense. But unfortunately, yeah, I think that's even the only move he could actually try and do. Because if he did go here, I'm guessing his opponent would just have. Okay, I was going to say defend the pawn, but this is also fine. So there was really nothing he could do. This is the only thing he can hope for. Unfortunately, it doesn't work. That's the whole point. I don't think this is one of those games where there are chances your opponent can survive. I think this is just lost. So we'll move on to another game. This game, which was official winning at the point, is now just like this. So why is this drawn? Okay, I see bishops of opposite color. So for example, a move like this, if we are to trade off rooks, a move like this. Actually, that's even very possible. Like, you can play check here. If the king goes back, you can decide to just trade off, and this is just a draw. But I doubt his opponent is going to do that. I mean, most people are going to go for an aggressive play. So if you do check, it's more or less likely your opponent is going to go up. Then again, this rook cannot really leave. This rook cannot really leave this file. Sorry, that's my handkerchief. Okay. Remember, rook takes is a draw. We don't expect that. Wait, if we trade off rook for bishop, do we still draw this position or do we lose this position? I just want to ask for curiosity's sake. Right? Do we still draw for curiosity's sake? We don't draw. Okay. Just wanted to figure out. Just want to see if that's actually plausible. But why doesn't... How is this a draw, actually? Like, the way I'm seeing things... I'm trying to look for white. I made a mistake. I thought this was white. That's interesting. That is interesting. Okay, let me leave this to the experts. I would struggle with this position. What? Okay, this position. So after check. Okay. I think basically, yeah, that just ends the game. Maybe the only problem here is that your opponent still has like things he can do. The black is only playing to draw here. And if black makes a mistake, he's in trouble. So maybe he's thinking about this move first. But again, this keeps the game more alive than if you reduce it to just rook and pawns. So it's more or less likely he's going to play takes here. This move doesn't work. There's more drawish. Okay, so guys, thank you so much for being around. The game starts at 8. Mostly they take about 4 to 5 hours. And I'll be covering them. Like I said today, I said yesterday, I had no idea of the time. Oh, play with Wave. I'm very sorry. I'm just ending the stream. Yeah, but thank you for being around. Thank you for dropping by. I mean, anyone who commented, anyone who chatted, I really do appreciate you. It helps keep me awake. It helps keep me involved. And those who were lurking as well, like lurking meaning you were just watching but I didn't text. I also do appreciate you guys as well. Streaming to 0 viewers is a difficult thing. So just seeing your number there is a very encouraging thing. So thank you guys. If you still want to continue following this tournament, Play with River, thanks for the subscription. If you still want to keep following this tournament, just follow if you're on Twitch or subscribe if you're on YouTube. It really does help me out. I'll be covering the tournament throughout here on the PM Chess channel. If you want to see more of what I do, if you're on Twitch, you can check out the YouTube. If you're on the YouTube, you can simply hit the video section and see some of the videos that I do. Wow, thank you for following as well. Fishhead, thank you for being around. I did enjoy the conversation. I will be well. Thank you so much. I just have to go and do some chess lessons. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you tomorrow, 8 a.m. GMT. I think that'll be 4 a.m. EST. Sorry if you are in the the US like Fishhead. So yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.